right. So, Shawn, will you please introduce yourself to our followers?
And my name is Shawn Mitchell. I am fifth grade teacher. I am a husband. I'm a father.
How many kids do you have?
I got two kids, a 12-year-old soon to be on Saturday and a 10-year-old next Sunday. 12-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son. Shawn Jr. and Jordan. Shawn Jr. and Jordan.
So tell us, what is the most enjoyable thing about being a dad? What do you enjoy the most about being a dad?
Just being able to provide, seeing them grow, and it's getting a lot different now since they're getting older. When they were younger, it was much more enjoyable than it is as they're growing up and getting their own personalities. And my daughter, she always wants, I have a choice. We have choices. Just because we're kids don't mean we don't have choices. So having to constantly explain things to her that I'm her dad and I know what's best for her right now. So when they were younger, it was a lot different. It was so much more enjoyable. But now it's work now.
It's not just work now. It's different now. Stages, Shawn. Cut it out. He's work. Like, a lot of work.
No, that is funny.
Cut
so,
it
Shawn,
out.
on that note, what words of encouragement can you give to other fathers, young Black fathers or just fathers in general?
Be patient. Talk to your kids. For me, it's a lot different experience of being a dad versus I had a dad who he was there like part of the time, but just in my life, I didn't have a lot of positive male role models, had a lot of strong women, moms, grandmas, aunts. So I'm learning a lot of father team, parent skills just from, I see my father-in-law now. I've been seeing him for a long time, but I get a lot of what I do from him, but I still have to do what I've been taught, which is not a lot from a father, having a father, but me being, it's just every day is a new journey. So don't give up. I mean, be in your kids' life, especially our Black boys, both our Black boys and daughters, because in the time we're in right now, it's dangerous for kids with darker skin in America. So make sure you talk to them and that they know they can talk to you.
Sorry, but who do you kind of lean to when it comes to those times of like not necessarily having that role model, not necessarily having that father figure in your own life? Who do you lean to? Who do you go to? Where have you been able to kind of pull from when it comes to those times when you need to kind of discipline your children or, give wisdom to them?
That's one thing I struggle with, like just overall. I don't ask anybody for help. I mean, when it comes to like my job or anything or just in life, I always try to figure out things for myself. The best learning is learning that you teach yourself. I mean, I really don't ask anybody for help. I never ask my father-in-law. I never ask uncles when it comes to parenting or friends. I just go with the flow and try to do my own thing. It's really got to be a desperate time if I'm asking somebody for help with anything in aspects of my life. So money, a job, information on something. If I'm asking you, I've like tried everything myself.
And you kind of hit on this already. What is one thing or something that you fear in regards to your children, raising them right now in this
time? So we try to keep our kids so naive and try to keep their innocence as long as we can. But them getting older, the world and society teaches them stuff a lot sooner than we are ready to actually enlighten them on, because we just had a whole discussion about TikTok yesterday. My daughter feels like she's 12, that she's responsible enough to be able to have a TikTok account, But her being responsible and knowing the right thing to do, that doesn't mean that everybody else is being taught that. With so much racism and exploitation of kids going on in the world, it's just, like I said, we want to try to keep the innocence as long as we can, but you got to teach them stuff before you as a parent are ready to, because society is going to teach them, and they're going to teach them the wrong way. So I just try to limit as much as possible what they do have exposure to, but still let them have a little bit of independence and freedom.
As your role as a dad, what role does God play in your life, in your family, as a husband, as a father? What role does he play in your life at all?
I mean, we as a family, we're believers. We used to go to church a lot religiously, but being in some of the situations in a church that I've been in, I've kind of lost faith in the aspect of a church and being in a religious establishment. I believe in God. I don't read the Bible every day. I mean, I know a lot about it, but he's the head of our everything, good, bad, whatever. But as far as religion, it's just falling out of love with religion because of there's so much. How do I say it? There's so many people in religious positions have kind of diluted the whole aspect of religion for me, because growing up in it, you see it, but then when you start to get older and learn things and see it's a lot of everybody wants self-gain, then it kind of does something to me being a believer of a lot of things that I've learned.
Yeah, I think at that point, and it's not about the religion, it's about the relationship that you have with God. Like, yeah. It's not religion, it's relationship. What type of relationship do you have with God?
And the relationship used to be a lot stronger than it is now. We've kind of got away from it. We need to get back to it, but it's just I don't know, something to strive for every day, because as we're growing as a family, you got to have God in it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So as a father, and you're married, what advice could you give to single women? So Brittany and I are both single and we have sons. What advice could you give to us women who are raising sons alone?
Never try to replace their dad. Never try to, you see so many women on Father's Day want to give themselves roses like I'm the mother and the father. I never heard that growing up. Just be a strong mother. Teach them as much as you can about how to be a man, although you're not a man, so you can't 100% teach them on how to be a man, but you can try to teach them to be able to communicate and talk to uncles, cousins, brothers, close friends that you have. And as far as women dating, I would just hope that single women aren't introducing their sons to every potential man that they are dating, unless it's something serious, because that's not the example you want to set for, oh, my mom is with, and they, oh, that's uncle such and such, or that's such and such. I mean, be an adult, keep it away from the house, but when it's right, then you should be able to have a talk with the kids about who this person is in mom's life now.
You kind of mentioned a couple of times just, some of the challenges you have as a dad, as a father, husband. So what are some of your challenges as you have been able to like kind of juggle some of the hats? You work, you have to be a dad, you're a husband. Like, what are some of those challenges you have to face kind of day in and day out?
We all got the same 24 hours in a day. So you're a teacher, so you know how it is being a educator, and the expectation that not only your job has on you, but your students at work have on you. But then also When you choose to go back to school, that's even more of your time that you have to dedicate to that. So just trying to be able to balance home life, work life, school life, give time to your family, because although we all got 24 hours, this was a blessing in disguise, being able to work from home the last couple months of school and be able to have the I'm tired of y'all, because we see each other so much now. But when school was in, it was like, go to work, come home, go to the gym, and then it's a whole cycle. But now we're still working, but we are in each other's company and just using your time. You never get your time back, so try to make the most of the time you have with everything that you're doing, because we waste so much of it on these right here, social media and Facebook. I'm trying to teach my daughter now, you have a phone now, limit how much you're doing on that phone so that you are being productive still while still making life enjoyable.
So our blog is called BFF, and it stands for Boldly, Freely, and Faithfully Living Through Christ. So we just want to know, how are you living boldly? How do you live freely? How do you live faithfully through Christ?
I try not to worry about things that are out of my control. A lot of people stress themselves out over things that once you do something or pray about something, or once it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands. There's no reason to stress over it. No reason to worry over it, because all that is doing is eating your health up. So since I had kids, that's been my life's focus, is to make sure my kids are good. I no longer live for myself anymore. It's me to be able to provide what they need. I mean, to have better than I had as a kid, like we talked about before we went on, that kids are spoiled. They all are spoiled, and it's our faults because we want to give them better than we had. But in this day and age, they don't really understand how good they have it. So trying to bring them back to reality every once in a while, just trying to just stay positive. And there's times that I do pray. I don't pray as much as I should, but that's a work in progress. So
is there any final piece of advice you would give to your children, to other people? Any final piece of advice you would give to anybody at this point?
And make time for your kids, because I see it so much as a teacher. Kids come to school and do the things in front of us that they should be doing in front of their parents. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And my kids do that to me at home, but we allow them to do that. So if you're not allowing your kids to be weird, goofy themselves, they're going to show that to somebody. And in our case, they come to school and they show it to us because we show interest in them.
That's
We're
right.
not always shooing them away. We're not always sending them to the room. So you don't know how much of a wall you're building between your kids young if you don't show them attention when they're young, versus as they get older, they start to see, oh man, they don't care about me. They don't love me. All they care about is what they're doing. So pay them attention. Pay your kids attention.
That's good. That's really good.
Well, that is it. That's all we got. That was pretty easy.
$20 for my time will be nice.
We ain't paying you nothing. No.
Why?